Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports. Today we are here with another video, and today is about cricket, and we are going to be talking about the Indian cricket team's new era in T20 cricket. As we all discussed prior as well, India, after having a shocking exit in the T20 World Cup against England, India definitely wanted a revamp in the complete structure. And also considering the fact that the T20 World Cup is 2 years away, which will be played in 2024 in the Caribbean and in the USA, Indian team wanted to try out some new players for sure. And that's why Indian team has completely revamped themselves in the T20 setup. Now, with the reports, what we are getting, it is also that Hardik Pandya might be the skipper for Indian T20 setup because with Hardik having taken over since the New Zealand series, he has had 10% record. He has won New Zealand series in New Zealand, won against Sri Lanka, and also against New Zealand. And now, what the fact is that Hardik Pandya and his vision for 2024. And also, there's also a controversial opinion over here. A lot of seniors like KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, have they been dropped or have they been rested because of the ODI World Cup, which will be played later this year? But as of now, the vision is that to try out youngsters to groom them for the 2024 World Cup. Let's understand how Indian team is shaping up. Let's start from the top of the order. We have to talk about Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill has announced himself into the international arena in all three formats with a bang, one can say so, because there was definitely doubts on him playing the white ball format because people thought his strike rate was going to be an issue, but he has definitely answered them with his ability to accelerate through the course of the innings and his ability to play spin through the middle overs as well, which is a key factor, especially playing in conditions and in T20 format these days. And his innings against New Zealand, the double century which he scored in Hyderabad against New Zealand, was definitely an impeccable one. Now we'll be talking about the T20 format, the 100 in Ahmedabad, the 126 being India's highest ever score in T20 internationals, going past Virat Kohli by scoring 126 in 63 deliveries against New Zealand is definitely going to be remembered for a long time. The innings was very special for sure because the way in which he took on the ballers, and not just that, that innings happened after two consecutive failures, and of course, all the pundits across the world started questioning whether he's a suited T20 player because there was a player in the name of Prithvi Shaw who was also waiting in the wings. Now, what is the other positive factor for Team India? It's, of course, the bowling department. The way in which the young bowlers have stepped up whenever they've been put under pressure. Obviously, you have to talk about Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep Singh, after that devastating over which he bowled in Ranchi against New Zealand, there were definite question marks on him. Arshdeep Singh, even if you look, his progress has been phenomenal. He will have some of the bad games, but in the way in which he comes back is definitely a shining spot in this Team India. And not just that, other spin bowling all rounders like so Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, and Kuldeep Yadav, everybody stepping up is a bright sign going into the 2024 World Cup. Now, India looks like a very well shaped unit because the spin bowling all rounders, now with Jadeja also sitting out, Jadeja is yet to make a comeback into Team India. That is definitely going to be a spot which is going to be in high contention. And also, Jadeja, we do not know. Maybe Jadeja might be playing in place of Deepak Hooda because Jadeja is now a well-suited batter to bat anywhere in the top five or top six. And he can actually go on to play in that particular role which Deepak Hooda is doing with a lot more perfection. And because he gives that extra asset of fielding as well on the field, where he could say maybe +8, +10 in a game, which could make a considerable amount of difference in a T20 format. Now that is where Team India is shaping up pretty well for 2024 World Cup. I know this is the year for 2023 50 over World Cup, but definitely we had to make a video on the T20 setup because 1.5 years is not too long away because that can happen in a whisper of a moment, and obviously the T20 World Cup will be here. Now, what is another bright spot? Umran Malik getting a lot more games. Umran Malik is definitely a bright spot for Team India because he's an X factor bowler. The way in which he is bowled, especially in the one day format and also T20 format, with his express pace to beat the batters in the air and off the pitch as well, has been excellent. And that's one X factor category India will like to carry into a World Cup as well because he is going to be troubling a lot of batters when it comes to his pace. Because when you talk about bowling 150 Ks, it's a tough skill, and ultimately it is going to be even more tougher skill for batters to play it out as well. So that's why Umran Malik is also a very bright spot. Now let's talk about some of the negatives, and before we talk about Captain Hardik Pandya as well. One possible thing which we are obviously have to discuss is Ishan Kishan's form. Ishan Kishan is just managed to average 14 in the last 14 innings in his T20 internationals. Is it primarily because of the pressure which has been overburdened upon him? That's definitely a question which we need to answer. But more than that, there is a sense of feeling which a lot of people who watch him play see that after his double hundred, of course, he's definitely looking to he's definitely struggling in terms of his technique. He's struggling against pace bowling, which ballers ball next to 145. He's struggling against quality off spinners, and he's also struggling when the ball moves. And that is definitely going to be a question which India will have to answer. Or is it time to look beyond Ishan Kishan for a while now? Because Ishan Kishan, you saw it. Even 2021 IPL and 2022 IPL was very underwhelming because he set the stage on fire in 2020 IPL. That's where he announced himself as a breakthrough player, where he hit the most number of sixes in a single IPL. He was one of the MVPs of the tournament as well for Mumbai Indians, leading them to the fifth title that particular year. But after that, it's not looking very great for Ishan Kishan. Obviously, there was a double hundred which he scored in a dead rubber against Bangladesh, but his issues in T20 format, especially when it comes to strike rate of strike rate of just 104 in the 14 last innings, is definitely not good enough if you're an Indian opener, because now you're looking at a structure where you want to play the new brand of cricket where you're much more fearless. Now, who are the options India can possibly try? There's definitely Sanju Samson, and there is definitely someone like Rishabh Pant who might be fit in time for the next T20 World Cup as well. And that is where India will have to really look forward as well. Now, what about Yuzvendra Chahal? Yuzvendra Chahal's form is also a concern for Team India because against quality opposition, Yuzvendra Chahal is getting found out a lot more. And he's really lost the zip of the surface, which he used to get very well during the prime phase of Yuzvendra Chahal. Now, that's one of the primary reasons why Kuldeep Yadav, who's possibly hit his prime at this point, is preferred over Yuzvendra Chahal as well. And hence, that particular Jodi of Kulcha is also broken. They did get the chance to play in the Lucknow T20, but it was a rank turner. It was only obvious that India had to go in with two spinners in that particular surface. But now, let's talk about Suryakumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya, the two people who have been part of the leadership group as well. Hardik Pandya, the captain, we have all seen him with Gujarat Titans, how great a season he has had there. He seems to be a captain who gives a lot of faith to his players. He gives a long rope to his players. He gives that kind of confidence where players are able to go out there and play freely. For example, Shubman Gill is a prime example. He failed in the two innings in T20. There could have definitely been a lot of question marks in terms of Shubman Gill having a place in the team, or Shubman Gill should be even be continuing. But the kind of faith he showed, you saw it in the way Shubman Gill came out blazing guns in that Ahmedabad T20. But there's another player who I really thought had a very good day as well. It was Rahul Tripathi. Rahul Tripathi certainly looks to be the kind of player like who you need in T20 format because he's an intent merchant. He's a 360-degree player, extremely fearless. Rahul Tripathi hasn't had a lot of success in the five T20 years he's played. He has only had one success where he scored 37 odd runs against Sri Lanka. But after that, he has failed consecutively. But despite that, to come out playing a fearless brand of cricket in that Ahmedabad T20 really shows how much of faith is instilled upon him by the team management. You have to give credit to Hardik Pandya, the captain. You saw that with Gujarat Titans as well, how he got the best out of a team which certainly did not look strong on the paper. A lot of people after the 2022 auction felt Gujarat Titans is the weakest team on the paper because David Miller definitely hadn't had any success in the IPL. And if you have to talk about Rahul Tewatia as well, Rahul Tewatia did not really have a lot of success. He was not a consistent player. But here, he's getting the best out of players over a period of time by instilling faith. Similar example with someone like a Shivam Mavi, to put up a young pacer into the deep water, straight up seeing him to be a future prospect for India, a positive sign, grooming a player for the future. Because Shivam Mavi was a selection which nobody anticipated coming. He was picked by Gujarat Titans, obviously, for this season. One could say it is a bias of Gujarat Titans, but you can't definitely complain because Shivam Mavi has performed whenever he's gotten the opportunity to represent India in the 60-20 IC he's played so far. And that's why you'll have to give credit to Hardik Pandya, the captain, and also his all-round skills. Maybe one slight complaint is Hardik Pandya overdoing a lot because with Hardik Pandya, a sense of belief he gets is he wants to do everything by himself. He wants to ball the opening overs. He wants to come in the tough situations, take the team home. Is he overballing himself? Because Hardik Pandya, the asset, is so crucial for India in two World Cups, which is going to happen in a span of 10 months period because the 50-over World Cup will possibly end in November and the 2020 World Cup will take place in July of next year. So you want Hardik Pandya, the captain, the all-rounder, and the asset in the team. And that's why also Surya Kumar Yadav, the vice captain, also has been really, really helping Hardik Pandya on the field. And Surya Kumar Yadav, obviously, you don't need to mention him because he's been an outstanding player come the tough situations always stepping up. Now, what is the way India can look ahead? Now, what are the players who India can expect in the coming days? India can expect obviously Jasprit Bumrah coming into the squad. Jasprit Bumrah, once he's fit and fine, will be ready to play in T20 internationals for Team India. Similarly, Sanju Samson will be back, and also with the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, this team is going to look very packed, and this team is going to look very much more balanced as well going ahead into the T20 World Cup. Now that's it from us. We've spoken about the new era in Indian cricket and analyzed almost every player. If you like the video, do share and subscribe to our channel. And also do check out our course on cricket analytics to understand how to analyze each player, their strength and weaknesses, and how can every player be utilized to their optimum capabilities come a particular T20 setup as well. Have a good time, all of you. Thank you.